Good afternoon, folks. First of all, a huge thank you to those of you who are helping me on Patreon. You are making a huge difference to me, and we are on our way. We are on our way to my target of $750 per month. That can get me off of ad revenue. That'd be great. Yeah, don't want to use it anymore. It's doing my head in. So I'd rather just sidestep ad revenue altogether, as I said in the last video. Please continue to support Composite Games. They are doing a hell of a lot for me right now. And making sure that we're having prizes for our prize draws and things like that. If you won the prize draw last time, then please get in touch with me and let me know what you want from this store. You got $30, remember. You got £30, sorry, in terms of prizes. So make sure you get in touch with me. And our next prize draw, drumroll, will be on the Friday the 15th. No. Friday the 22nd, sorry, of July. Friday the 22nd of July will be our next prize draw. And our prize draw prizes for that time will be similar to last time, where we will have two £30 slots. So first prize and second prize is £30 of models from Composite Games, shipped anywhere in the world. To enter into that, all you got to do is become a patron or become a member of the channel, either of those two, and you will automatically entered into that prize draw. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. And also, the Discord is down below, and it's free. So come and say hello to me, please. Yeah, continue sending in your hobby nightmares. They will be with you on, well, tomorrow and on Friday. But yeah, let's move on, shall we? Because I've got some things I'd like to talk about today. Number one is the new, brand spanking new Rogue Trader game that is coming out pretty soon. This is by Owlcat Games, and if you don't know, Owlcat Games did the Pathfinder games, which I quite enjoyed. I'll be honest with you. I thought Pathfinder was a pretty decent game. I thought it was it could do with a bit of a rebalance in certain ways, because I think it adhered to Pathfinder a bit too closely, and so it became very grindy and broken very, very easily. They patched a bit of that out later on, but you shouldn't have to do that. You should know what you're doing with your rules as soon as you license them, to be honest with you. But as those of you who know me, I have always said that 40k needs an RPG. It needs an RPG of some form or another. And so, lo and behold, when this was announced, I was incredibly excited, and I still am. So, I recently watched an interview with one of the lead developers of Owlcat Games who's working on Rogue Trader. And as you can see, it's it's a top-down CRPG, so very much like Baldur's Gate and the Pathfinder games, things like that. So, what he said was, as a rogue trader, you are not bound by Imperial law, so you can head out there and you can talk to whoever the hell you want to. That means that Xenos will be a part of your guys, of your squad. So you'll have an Eldar Ranger there. You will have, in fact, I can actually even show you that he looked at this piece of art as these are your companions. And one thing you will notice straight away. This is the universe just laughing at me. Because I've always wanted an RPG, you know. But I don't want Space Wolves. I don't want to talk to a Space Wolf. I don't want him shouting at me all the time. I don't want him being obnoxious all the time. You know, a fucking Space Viking. Brilliant. Excellent. That's just what we need. Just what we want from our 40k games, you know. Just another one of these shouty assholes on our ship all the time. Because he's on your ship, you can't get away from him either. And he's a Space Marine, so he could probably kill you in one hit. So, you know, what the hell. I honestly don't think Space Marines should have been a part of this game at all. I think if you're going to show Rogue Trader, and what they're saying in the interview is that they want to show it kind of like Eisenhorn. The Eisenhorn books, where you see what's underneath the surface of the Warhammer 40,000 setting. You don't just see, you know, bolters and orcs and guns and shit, right? Well, could have fooled me by this art, by the way, but just beyond that, I do not get why there's a Space Marine involved in this at all. Never mind a Space Wolf, right? Because if you're going to do a Space Marine, have him be somebody more stoic. Have him be like an Iron Hand or something, or even an Ultramarine. God forgive me for saying that. But you know what I mean? Somebody who's going to be like, I don't really want to get involved in any fights because, you know, this is your ship and you do it. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about you. If this guy is involved, why are we even here? Why are we even bothering? Just send this guy on all the missions. If we're going up against, like, you know, normal threats that are out there, You know, what good are we compared to him? Just send him. That's the power level of Space Marines in the actual setting. All of the people behind this guy are kind of pointless. Just send the Space Marine. Yeah, and I don't like it. I don't think Space Marines should have been involved at all. I definitely don't think Space Wolves should have been involved. They're bullshit, they're arrogant, they're loud, and they tend to dominate every space that they're in just by their sheer, you know, angriness and look, I'm so coolness. So, in an RPG, I think that could get very irritating for the player. I think that could get to the point where you're just like, listen, screw this guy. I don't want him around me. He's annoying. You know, like they're going to need to write him very, very, very cleverly. Now, if he takes a beating at the start of the game, and so is powered down for the rest of it, that'll be fine. But if he's just going to be like this, box art, what's the point in the rest of us being there, right? Yeah, the rest of it, I'm so behind. You got an Adeptus Sororitas there, Sister of Battle, looks really, really cool. Hopefully you're romanceable. And you have an Eldar Ranger there as well. That's cool. I like that. I like the fact that that he or she is involved. That's cool. And obviously you have Psychers there. And looks like you have I think that is a Navigator at the back there. I think, unless it's a Sister of Silence, I'm not sure. I think it's a Navigator though because she's wearing that thing above her eye, a center eye there. In the game you will have, and this is something that really, really got to me. I thought this is going to be great. In the game you have backgrounds. Now, in terms of backgrounds, you get to select who your rogue trader is and what kind of dynasty they came from. One of which is a commissar, which looks cool, and another one is a crime lord, which looks amazing. Those are the only two that they've shown off so far, but both of them look really epic. And I love games like that. I love it when RPGs let you define who your character is before you even start the game and start the story. That's beautiful. That's a really lovely touch. I love the fact that you're part of this woman's dynasty, and she was a rogue trader, and she's basically giving you the deed to her ship when she dies. And there's a whole mystery about how she died and things like that. I love that. I think that's the best way they could have gone. In fact, they're hitting this out of the park in most ways. They're giving me exactly what I wanted to see from a CRPG based in the Warhammer 40,000 setting. The one thing that they're not doing is perhaps sticking to the power level that they should be played at. We shouldn't have Space Marines. In fact, it's the same thing. Have any of you guys ever seen Hitman? If you watch this channel, then you probably have. The reason why I think the Hitman movies fail is because they make Agent 47 the main character of the entire movie. Agent 47 shouldn't be the main character in a Hitman movie or a TV show. He should be the main bad guy. He should be the Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. He should be this horrid, imposing threat that is just walking them down. Sometimes the villain can be the star of the show. Look at The Dark Knight, right? Look at the Joker and that, right? He's not the main character, but he's the star of the show. That's exactly what I would do with Agent 47, and that's exactly what I would do with Space Marines in this kind of rogue trader RPG. They would be out there, they would be dangerous, you don't want to come across them, you certainly don't want to fight them, because they're terrifying. I think you're taking away a lot of the mystery of what Space Marines are to a normal citizen of the Imperium when you just interject them like this, because you are a nobody when you start out in this game, as we've been told. You are absolutely nobody, nobody cares who you are, so why wouldn't you be shitting your pants when a Space Wolf comes up to you and says, "What are we doing, boss?" Like, they wouldn't say that. They would tell you where to go. They tell you what to do. It doesn't matter if you got this writ of rogue trader, you know, of rogue trader exploration protocols from the Emperor. Doesn't matter. Right? Space Marines don't give a shit. They'll just tell you what to do. And lo and behold, if you go against them, they'll just cleave you in half with their chainswords. They shouldn't be involved. They shouldn't be a part of the main party. If you know a way where you could write it so that they could be there, let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm really excited for this. I cannot wait for this to come out. I will be playing it on the channel, front to back, start to finish. I can't wait. I can't wait to experience it with you guys. I need to get back into streaming. I've just been so busy with the end of the school year. It really did coincide. They would bring out like the Grey Knight Demon Hunters game right as I'm about to, you know, go into the busiest part of the year, but there we go. Now, another thing I wanted to mention and talk about was actually a bit of controversy that has happened in the Warhammer 40,000 community over the last 48 hours or so. and that is the Miniac situation. The link will be down in the description below to his video, where he essentially... this is somebody being banned from a Warhammer HQ event. So Miniac, if you don't know, he's a pretty good YouTuber. He does a lot of miniatures painting and conversions, things like that. And he was invited to go to Warhammer World for the brand new Horus Heresy box set opening, where he was going to paint Lionel Johnson. And he painted him in a few days before he went. You know, constant painting time. And then went over to Nottingham from the US. And was part of the event over there. And in one of the exhibition halls, they were allowed to take photographs of certain things, as long as they didn't spread them and put them out there. There were certain things that you could and certain things that you couldn't, essentially. And he took a photograph of something and shared it on his Instagram, I think, from what he said. And unfortunately for him, he shared a model that had already been not released, but announced, so that wasn't a leak. But he did share I think it was 1 or 2 weapon slot upgrades that you could use on one of those models. So basically, he had one of the tanks that he showed had, like, you know, one other weapon as a side sponsor, and I think another model had like one pistol or something like that. That wasn't officially announced to be a part of that model set yet. And for that, I would say, what do you think happened to him? If you've not seen that video, because I would say, if it was me, then you'd be getting a slap on the wrist, told, hey, you know, you did this, be more careful next time, man. You know, because we can't allow this, just be careful next time. Of course, you'd be very, very apologetic. Yes, I'm sorry. And then you keep an eye on him. If he does it again, kick him out, right? That's it, right? They kicked him out straight away. They came to him, they found him whilst he was having lunch in Warhammer World at the event. I hope it wasn't in front of people, because that would be a really shitty thing to do, but it's also a very Games Workshop thing to do. They came up to him at the event and essentially kicked him out. They essentially banned him from the event, said, you can't be here, we have to ask you to leave. You know, it's like he's gone in there and taken a dump on the table. Like, you know, we're asking you to leave. I mean, are you serious? Are you... So he leaves. You know, he's very apologetic. He leaves and all that. Fair enough, no problem. And every single bit of writing that's come out about this event, he has not mentioned at all. He's been wiped away from it. He's not in it at all. And they didn't even put his Lionel Johnson. And from the sneaky pics that I've seen of that model, it's the best one that they actually got painted. They didn't even put it in the display case. Everybody who was there got to put their models in a display case, or most of them did anyway. This was not in the display case at all. In fact, it probably just thrown in a back room somewhere. He was basically voided and deleted from this entire experience because of that one mistake. Now, this is not beyond Games Workshop to be this petty. That's the word here that I want to use. It's pettiness. It's ridiculous. There is no point whatsoever. When you look at the sheer amount of subscribers that Miniac has, and the work that he puts into making sure that people are coming into the hobby, they're being enthused about it, they're loving it, they're having somebody to bounce ideas off of, and he's putting out really cool work. And let's be quite honest, he's probably bringing in millions of people. I'm not exaggerating there. He's probably bringing in millions of people into the Warhammer hobby, right? Or at least exposing them to it for the first time by his sheer subscriber count and the amount of views he gets on his videos, right? Over the past 6 years, he's probably passed 1 million on people who've gotten their first look at Warhammer through his channel. That is free advertisement. Games Workshop don't do anything to keep those people. They don't do anything to they're not beholden to you whatsoever. And this is the thing, is that they seem to think that there is no alternative. They seem to think that, you know, I was told when I was working there, hey, be very careful. It's very easy to get kicked out of heaven whenever I did something that they didn't like. And I would just be like, is this heaven? Like, below minimum wage? Is this heaven? Right? Really? This is your idea of heaven, is it? Not being able to pay your rent? Right? Cool. Getting all the stress for no extra money? Brilliant. Thanks. Not being able to afford the hobby that I'm working in? Yeah, cheers. Heaven. Cool. Right? This is exactly the same as the Miniac situation. I'd like to thank, by the way, Michael McBroom for bringing this up to me, because I was going to do a video on it, but he was the person who came forward and reminded me, poked me in the side and said, oh, this would be good for a video, so thank you. So, for me, this is a ridiculous overreaction, to say the least, to kick somebody out for something like this. I understand fully that Games Workshop have to police their own intellectual property. The reason being, if you don't protect your IP, once, then your IP becomes fair game, essentially, in the court of law. It's not black and white like that, but it becomes a lot more of a grey area in that courts will say, look, have you always policed your IP this heavily? If you have, then fair enough. If you haven't, and you're picking and choosing who you give your IP to and who you protect it from, that's not legal. That's not allowed. And so your intellectual property has no protection under the law because you're not protecting it to the fullest of your extent on every single case. So if they let Miniac off and then they punish somebody else, that person will take them to court and say, well, you let Miniac off, what the hell is this, right? That sort of a thing. And it could lead to a load of legal loopholes. And if you know Games Workshop, they don't like going to court. As anybody who has actually used the phrase Space Marine will tell you. But I think this is a massive overreaction in terms of policing your own IP. We've done this before. We've had this stance with Games Workshop before. In fact, I think it was a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, when I was doing ranty videos about the IP, Games Workshop protecting their IP in a way that damaged the hobby as a whole. And here we are again, getting somebody who is a avid Games Workshop fan, who has brought millions of people into the hobby, and dumping him like he's a 2-bit whore on the side of the street. Not right. Absolutely not right. Taking the piss would be another thing that I would say. Absolutely pompous, passive-aggressive. Everything, all of the worst. This is what happens when the worst tumours that are at Games Workshop HQ come out and they attach themselves to somebody and go after them. This is what happens. It's petty. It's passive-aggressive. It's low-life, small-dick behaviour. And Games Workshop should be above it, to be honest with you. Now, I don't know Miniac. I know almost nothing about him apart from his channel. I quite like his channel. And when I saw that video, it really just irked me because I know exactly what he's feeling. And if you're not working for Games Workshop and you're not being paid from Games Workshop, they've got no right to treat you like Miniac was treated because he's not a Games Workshop employee. Okay, he's doing them a favour. They act like they're doing him a favour. It's the other way around. He's doing them a favour by giving them free advertising. Completely free. Doesn't go out of his way, just free advertising. There you go. And then he gets himself all the way over to Nottingham to by taking your stupid contest thing, right, to give you some name recognition on your new brand, and you treat him like this. I don't know of many other companies who would pull shit like this and seek to get away with it. Miniac offered an apology on his video to Games Workshop. I'm going to tell you now, my friend, right? It was an honest mistake. And if you apologise there and then in the moment, you don't owe anybody a public apology in the public eye. You don't. They owe you an apology for kicking you out. They owe you an apology for treating you like that. Fuck them. Anyway, that is my news for the day. I just wanted to get those two things off my chest because those are those two things that I'm pretty passionate about at the moment in terms of 40k. I may make this a weekly thing. You never know. On Thursday, I'd quite like to do a video on the missing legions that are in the Horus Heresy and what I would do with them. And that is a suggestion by Slave to the Parasites. Thank you very much, my man. He is also a patron. So another thing, if you are a patron or you are a member of the channel, I basically look at you as my employers. And so if you want me to cover anything on the channel, these two things today were given to me by people who are patrons. If you want me to cover anything on the channel, then you can just message me and I will give it some serious thought. Or I probably will do it, to be honest with you. Because as I said, I treat you as my employers. So there you go. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. I'll be back with some more Hobby Nightmares tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Tuesday, guys. We are nearly halfway through the week. We're nearly there. Don't worry, we're getting there. We're getting towards the weekend. Right, love you all a long time. If you like what I do, support the Patreon down below. And become a member of the channel. And also, if you could, please go and help out Composite Games because they help me out a lot. And yeah, they're awesome. So, have a happy Tuesday. If you use the promo code Northern Exile down below, you get 5% off the Composite Games store. And they already give you 20% off. You could get 25% off at checkout. And you help support the channel by doing it too. And you help give your fellow gamers better prizes when we do our next prize draw on the 22nd of July. Love you all a long time. See you tomorrow. Have a good one.